Alright, buckle up because what's going down right now in Cleveland isn't just your average quarterback competition. This is a full-on storm brewing, and if you're a Browns fan, you can feel the tension crackling in the air. I'm talking about Shedeur Sanders. It's a fifth-round rookie phenom who's not just showing up to camp, he's dominating every single practice session like a man on a mission. Picture this, for 6 straight days. Sanders has taken control in ways nobody expected. From the whispers echoing through Berea to insider chatter spreading like wildfire. The Browns' QB battle has morphed into something much bigger. Potential seismic shift threatening to shake the whole organization right down to its core. All before preseason even kicks off. Let me break down the numbers because they don't lie. Sanders is completing nearly 78% of his passes against Cleveland's first-team defense. Yeah? The very defense that's supposed to make quarterbacks sweat. Meanwhile, Dillon Gabriel, the guy who's been favored to start, is struggling too. Hit 65% against second-string defenders. The difference? It's night and day. Sanders is dropping bombs deep downfield, lighting up the defense with explosive plays, while Gabriel's stuck taking the safe, conservative routes checkdowns that never really threatened to change the game. Okay? And if you thought red zone production might even things out, think again. Sanders is cashing touchdowns on 80% of his trips inside the 20-yard line, while Gabriel keeps settling for field goals. So why haven't we seen Sanders unleashed in live reps against the first team yet? Well, here's the twist. Veteran Kenny Pickett just got hit with a grade 2 hamstring strain, sidelining him for a month or more, effectively knocking him out of the quarterback competition. That domino falling should have opened the door wide for Sanders, but instead, the coaching staff keeps publicly backing Gabriel, sticking to the old script about development, playbook mastery, and traditional QB grooming behind closed doors though. The locker room's a different story. The vets are reportedly rallying around Sanders, pushing for him to get first-team reps. Defensive backs. They're privately admitting that Sanders' pinpoint ball placement is straight up messing with their heads. The tide is turning, weather management. Wants to admit it or not, there was one moment that shifted the entire narrative. Sanders ran a perfect 2-minute drill against the starters, slicing through coverage with surgical precision, reading defenses like a seasoned pro and delivering throws that left teammates erupting on the sidelines. The coaching staff, stone-faced, refusing to acknowledge the fire ignited on the field. Meanwhile, Gabriel tried to mimic the magic and stumbled, throwing incompletions and a gut-wrenching interception that left everyone stunned. The contrast was brutal. Sanders calm, commanding, in total control. Gabriel rattled, struggling to keep pace. This isn't a competition anymore. It's a takeover unfolding in real time. Let's dig deeper. In the locker room, Sanders is already the guy. His assertiveness, his elite ball placement, his leadership, they're earning respect fast. One anonymous wide receiver said this: "Kids making throws nobody thought possible. Even defenders are blown away." Kay and an inside linebacker added, "He reads what we throw at him like he's been here for years." But up top, the coaching staff is caught in a bind. Head coach Kevin Stefanski is staring down a tough decision. Stick with the original plan to start Gabriel and develop Sanders quietly, or face the reality that Sanders is the future and maybe the present. The quarterback coach quietly champions Sanders while the offensive coordinator keeps publicly pushing Gabriel. Stefanski's stuck between honoring the past and embracing the undeniable present, and either choice risks his credibility. Tensions are boiling over. Gabriel's frustration is leaking out. It's showing in his body language, his practice intensity, his communication with teammates. After coming from Oklahoma expecting to be the heir apparent, he's watching Sanders soar past him despite all the supposed favoritism he had on his side. Okay. The quarterback room has gone cold. Collaboration replaced by silence. Veterans are worried this friction could explode into full-blown dysfunction once the season starts. Then, after practice, the media pressed Sanders about the controversy, and the kid didn't just answer, he mastered the moment. His understanding of complex route concepts, his anticipation throwing passes before receivers even make their cuts. It stunned everyone watching. Sanders isn't just playing. He's elevating the Browns' offense with a level of vision and timing that defies rookie expectations. Even some coaches who expected a learning curve are shocked at how quickly he's taken command. Look, I'm not saying Gabriel's bad. He's got NFL-level skills, solid mechanics, and a good grasp of the playbook. On his own, he'd be considered a solid QB. But when you stack him up against Sanders, the gulf is clear. Gabriel executes plays. Sanders elevates them with sharper timing, better touch, more arm strength, and next-level athleticism. Gabriel is professional competence. Sanders is potential greatness. And that contrast is rattling the Browns organization to its core. Digging even deeper, this reveals something bigger, a clash of quarterback philosophies. Gabriel is the classic, traditional model. College starter, methodical transfer, polished. Over years, expected to develop steadily into the role. The Browns bought into that plan. Plug-play, predictable timeline. A scripted rise to QB1. Gabriel believed it too, that he was stepping into a clear path with institutional support. Sanders? He's the new era, raw, electric, ready to explode onto the scene. Football royalty's son, raised in the grind of film rooms and locker rooms since he was a kid. Yet he's had to fight every step of the way against narratives of favoritism, quietly outperforming expectations. Showing he's not just a luxury stash or trade asset, he's looking like a franchise quarterback in the making. The Browns. Front office might be realizing they miscalculated, that Sanders could be the future they didn't see coming. And the personalities tell the story too. Gabriel, though composed in public, is reportedly unraveling behind the scenes distant. From receivers, deflated during Sanders' highlight reps, withdrawn in team activities. The weight of slipping grip on the starting job is crushing him. Meanwhile, Sanders stays locked in, focused, leading, and delivering. Handling the political storm swirling around him with poise, rare for any rookie, let alone one in the eye. This hurricane, this situation, is far from clean or simple. The pressure is through the roof. Every throw analyzed, every coach's comment decoded for hidden meaning. The front office's every word is scrutinized. This kind of chaos is a breeding ground for dysfunction, and right now, the Browns are simmering on the edge of it. The Gabriel camp pushes patience. They say he knows the system. It's a long-term plan, and rushing Sanders could backfire. Sanders supporters counter with undeniable production, rare leadership qualities, and a call for merit-based promotion, no matter draft position. So where does this end? Honestly, no one knows. But one thing's for sure, the Browns quarterback. Saga just became the most compelling story in the NFL, and I'll be here covering every explosive moment as it unfolds. But trust me, you do not want to blink. It started with a spark. A few offhand remarks from Shedeur Sanders' words that, on the surface, felt like just another rookie standing up for himself. But the second he said it, focus on your fundamentals, not my reps. Just to clap back. That was a bomb dropped right in the middle of Berea, and it exploded. I mean, ESPN sent more bodies to camp. NFL Network demanded extra access. First Take, Get Up, Undisputed, they all pivoted entire segments to talk about this one quote. Social media lit on fire. Analysts started dragging out college stats like they'd watched every snap. Former pros weighed in. Suddenly, this wasn't just a quarterback competition. It was a national spectacle. It's a narrative storm. And here's the kicker. The Browns front office. They weren't happy, especially with Shedeur putting coaching favoritism in the spotlight. It forced Kevin Stefanski into a private sit-down with Sanders. Not for playbook talk, but for media discipline. Messaging, internal protocols. No, all the stuff they don't teach you in QB school. But Shedeur, he didn't fold. Sources say he was respectful, never raised his voice, but he didn't back down either. He stood firm in his truth, admitted he could have worded things better, but doubled down on the core of what he said. That's not how rookies usually operate. That's how leaders do, that moment. That was Shedeur Sanders telling the entire organization, I'm not just here to compete. I'm here to be heard. I'm here to lead. And suddenly, this wasn't just about football. This was about culture, about identity, about whether the Browns were ready to embrace what was happening right in front of them. And make no mistake, something's happening fast. Insiders say the Browns are in the middle of a real organizational crisis. Not scandal, not drama, a full-blown identity reckoning. One executive high up reportedly said, "Both choices are risky. If we elevate Sanders, we reward performance. But maybe we rush the process. If we stick with Gabriel, we stay loyal. It's the plan. But we might lose the locker room." And I want you to sit with that for a second. Because this is no longer just about who plays weak. 1. This is about how an NFL franchise defines its own values when the unexpected happens, when the backup outshines the starter, when the plan gets challenged by reality. Let's zoom out for a second, because the ripple effects are everywhere. First, the scouting department. They spend months, if not years, evaluating quarterbacks. They picked Gabriel way ahead of Sanders. Now the 5th rounder is outperforming the 3rd rounder in nearly every way. What does that say about their process, their methodology? Okay, they missed something. Did the film lie? Or is Shedeur just the outlier you couldn't predict? Second, the scheme. The Browns built this offense with Gabriel in mind. Tailor-made Stefanski's system was supposed to highlight what Gabriel does best, but Shedeur is thriving anyway. Not because the system fits him, but because he's bending it to fit him. And that raises real questions. Can this coaching staff adapt? Will they stick to a script, even if it means leaving their most electric playmaker on the sidelines? Third, the locker room. Oh, it's shifting. Quietly, steadily, but unmistakably. Veterans are watching, and they're reacting. You won't hear them say it in pressers, but watch the body language. The intensity in practice during Shedeur's reps. Wideouts, tweaking routes mid-session to get better timing with him. Linemen barking more aggressively when he's under center. That's not normal. That's belief forming in real time. One assistant coach reportedly said behind closed doors, "Real, recognize real." The vets, they're casting their vote, not with words, but with effort. Fourth, Gabriel's camp. And let's be honest, it's not just noise. There are legitimate frustrations. Gabriel was supposed to be the guy. He was drafted with a clear development arc, okay? He's being outshined by a 5th rounder who's grabbing headlines. Believe Shedeur's getting highlight-friendly reps while Gabriel's in more conservative packages. Are the coaches playing favorites? Is there a narrative forming behind the scenes? Gabriel's reps are asking tough questions. Are we being treated fairly? Is this really about performance or something else? And yet, through all this chaos, Shedeur is cool, focused, locked in, first one in, last one out. Extra film sessions, private work with receivers, playbook grind. Not just showing up, but showing growth. Fast.1 defensive captain, a vet, supposedly, said, "The kid's all business. Doesn't complain, just delivers." That's the part people aren't talking about enough. It's not just the highlight throws, it's the consistency, the maturity, it's the command. It's why it's getting harder and harder to justify keeping him on the bench. The Browns know it too. Word is, they've started tweaking practice structures, trying to make things look fair, tracking reps more scientifically. It's consulting with the Veteran Leadership Council. This isn't just about quarterback play anymore. It's about holding the team together before this thing spirals, and that brings us to the heart of the storm. A franchise at a crossroads. On one hand, you've got Gabriel, higher pick, more system reps. The guy who's supposed to know the plan. On the other, you've got Shedeur Sanders, raw but rising, dominant, commanding, accelerating at a pace that no one saw coming. So what do? Stick to the original script and risk losing your team. Or rewrite the whole plan and gamble that this rookie can carry the weight. That's not just a quarterback decision. That's a test of organizational integrity. This is the kind of call that defines front offices for years. Now let's go back to what we actually saw on the field, because for the first time, got to lay eyes on Shedeur Sanders in a real setting. Not walkthroughs, not press clippings, real 11-on-11 reps. Media was there. Eyes were everywhere. Let's be honest. 3-4-8 passing doesn't jump off the stat sheet. No touchdowns, no picks. Just, okay. But that's not the story. The story is in the details. The footwork, the zip on the ball, that flick at the top of his motion, tight. Spirals clean, roll out left. He hits his guy in stride. Another play. Tight window defender nearly gets there. Sanders still delivers a frozen rope. And then, boom. The throw, you know the one I'm talking about? Sideline, defender, draped on the receiver. No margin for error. Sanders drops it in a bucket. It's absolute laser. That's an NFL throw. It's the kind of play that makes scouts sit up in their chairs. It's the kind that separates dudes who can play from dudes who can win. Forget the completion. For Senna, context is king. And Sanders gave us just enough to keep the conversation red hot. Look at the rep splits. Pickett and Gabriel go 6 for 7. Gabriel throws the only touchdown. Flacco goes 5 for 5, though we still don't know which drill those came from. But Shedeur, he threw the most passes, faced the most eyes. It's delivered the biggest. Highlight dot, and in this battle, that matters? You're a 5th round pick. You better flash. My man Sanders flashed. Mechanically, he's not perfect. Sometimes the ball comes out like he's trying to sling it instead of guide it, but he's getting better. It's that whip effect I've mentioned before. It's there. It's generating torque from the hips and upper body now, not just raw arm talent. That's evolution. That's polish and progress. And look, I'm going to nitpick because that's what I do. I want the motion a little tighter. I want the touch throws a little smoother. But I can't ignore what's happening here. I'm watching a quarterback ascend, and the Browns, they've got a decision to make. One that could ripple for years. So, here's my final thought. This isn't just a QB battle. It's a moment of truth for the Cleveland Browns. A test of vision, of courage, of honesty. Stick to the plan or honor the moment, because like it or not, Shedeur Sanders is forcing their hand. And if you ask me, it's only just beginning.